Welcome to the Builders of Authority podcast, a show committed to helping you build authority for your brand. In the realm of business and personal branding, authority stands as a cornerstone. Authority isn't built overnight, it's built over time. So join us as we build something remarkable together. And now, here's your host, Adam McChesney.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Builders of Authority podcast. We're live here at Adventure Unknown in Fenton, Missouri, right here in St. Louis. If you're in the St. Louis area and have not been out to AU yet, would love the opportunity to show you around this incredible place, show you exactly where we do the podcast with Punchline Productions, but give you a tour of everything we have going on here, all the great amenities we have going on, meet some incredible people that are members here, and share a little bit about what this place can be if you're looking for a great place to network, meet like-minded people, and just share a bunch of great experiences and memories that we do here at Adventure Unknown. We all also have a lot of events coming up as well. So happy hour tonight as recording of this episode, a lot of different things that are happening. So even if you want to come up for a specific event, send me a message and we'd love to get that scheduled for you. Today, I'm joined by someone I've been following online for years, but meeting today in person for the first time. I think actually originally I did hear about you and or hear you on the radio probably a decade ago, and then we got connected somehow, some way. So my guest today is Pat Imig. Pat, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. It's good to be here.
Yes.
And also, the happy hour, the scene has to be a good time because that bar looks amazing. So, he gave me the tour just a few minutes ago. This place is great. My first time here.
It's pretty awesome, man. So thanks for coming in. I know we've been connected, and I know we've been chatting back and forth.
We're competitors, Adam. Some people would say.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit, tell the audience a little bit about who you are, your business, all that good stuff.
Yeah, so the company is Imig Communications. It started it about 7 years ago, and we work as essentially a fractional social media department for clients, right? So that doesn't mean we're just like posting content. We're actually going on location. We're going to film authentic content. That's really the centerpiece of authenticity is huge, right? Mm-hmm. And so it's like with all the AI disruptions and technology and stuff, it's funny that like that's actually still the main driver of what we do with content, right? Yep. Those fundamentals never go out of style. Mm-hmm. So we go on location for a lot of our clients, film original content. We'll kind of script and strategize ahead of time with them. Don't want to script too much because, again, you want that real slice of life that sells the customer experience through their social channels. So that's really what it's about is we have kind of fine-tuned our method where we can now, partner with a client and we're able to help resell their experience that they give customers because a five-star customer experience starts online, as you well know, right? So that's kind of the small elevator pitch for it.
That's awesome. And I know you mentioned it a little bit about like AI obviously being disrupting. What are you seeing right now in terms of what people should be thinking about, staying away from, anything that kind of comes to mind there?
I mean, I think if it's just the conversations about video content, again, just staying straightforward, authentic. Don't rely on AI to generate your images, right? Mm-hmm. Unless you're using it as a joke or unless it's over the top and people get it. Yeah. Obviously, people are still skeptical, and they're kind of older business owners in this area, especially, are skeptical. But it's like AI is your teammate. It's not. Mm-hmm. If you still need humans. You still need the humans to monitor it, to use it. ChatGPT is fantastic, obviously. So for us, it's like it really helps in the post-production process because after we shoot, we can take transcripts, feed it to ChatGPT, it segments things out for us. That way, it helps shape the story for the editors before they even start editing. So it's it's a great tool. Not breaking any news there, but it's something that every business should be using in some form because there's ways for it to benefit you. So there's still that fear in this area, with AI, but it's a teammate at the end of the day.
Yeah. I know it seems like people went from, even if they weren't using like technology, like a lot of people went from not even using CRM or technology to having AI try to do everything.
Correct. Yeah. And I think it's just about knowing leaning in and doubling down on what your company does, and then figuring out how to leverage AI to help streamline it, make it more efficient. That sounds like a win-win for everybody. So it is funny to meet the doomsday people, though. It's just like, get used to it. I mean, it's not going backwards.
Yeah,
it's not leaving.
It's only going to get scarier.
Right.
I know you had sent me over your ebook, and one of the things that I liked that you had put in there was, hey, here's what it would cost to do all the different things that you do inside of a company. So my first question is how can you help educate people that say, hey, if you outsource this to us, we're an extension of your team, we partner with you, you need all of these different things. But here's the price tag if you had to go and try to go do this all alone.
Yeah. So that's, I'm glad you brought that up, because that to me is actually I mentioned, I think, the word fractional, and if I didn't, in a way, we're a fractional agency. We're an extension of our clients, right? So they could hire a social media department full-time. If you're a local business, that's not going to make sense for you financially, right? Expensive. So you've got your videographers, you've got your editors, you've got your strategists, your digital ad specialists, right? So somebody's got to be running the ads too, because that's a part of it. So you could spend, I think in according to ZipRecruiter, it's, if you were to hire those 4 or 5 positions full time just in St. Louis, you're looking at a payroll of $225K a year, and there's no guarantee, and that's not even including like your actual ad spend, right? Yeah. So is there a guarantee that all these people are going to work together well and that they know what they're doing and have best practices? Because it's not that what we do is rocket science, but there is kind of an art form to doing it, right? Yeah. And not everybody, knows how to do it. And so rather than deal with all of that and managing people and having turnover, which, the marketing industry always has volatility, more so, I think, than a lot of other industries. Mm-hmm. We just take it all, and we're kind of like a one-stop shop for these clients. So it's very beneficial, and then we're able to pass. It's almost like passing on savings. We're not Menards, but but it's like you could spend all that money and not get results, or not get the results you desire, and have headaches and hassle, or you could just hire a team like ours where it's a fraction of that cost. So. And the thing is too, what's interesting, people are always surprised when we first meet with them that they're running content for local brands and is different than personal brands, right? And so they're always like, well, shouldn't we be posting like 3 or 4 times a day? And it's like, if you run a local business and you have 1,000 followers on Facebook, you're going to annoy all of your followers, right? And what % of them are actually seeing the content because of algorithms and everything else? So it's like, you don't have to, you can still have the presence of being there 24/7 through strategic ads that speak to the customer. But at the end of the day, you don't need to be spinning your wheels and wasting time and effort trying to just to post, right? Mm-hmm. So I think people say, well, Gary Vee does it. Well, Gary Vee's Gary Vee, right? You know what I mean? It makes sense when you're promoting your personal brand like you do. It makes sense to be posting more consistently. But for a company, they don't necessarily have to. That doesn't mean they shouldn't. Yeah. But there needs to be like a reason and a thought behind why you post it. And originally, before the book was titled, I think we came up with just iterations, obviously. We were kind of spitballing. And Beyond the Post kept coming up because it's not just about fling stuff at the wall. Yeah. It was like that when it started. Yeah. Right? Yeah. And with the way it was with organic reach, when all the platforms were brand new, if you were just doing it, you were ahead of the competition. You had a competitive edge. Today, you got to be a little bit more thoughtful with it because you got to speak again to your customers.
Mm-hmm. So dive into your process a little bit about like what you would take a new company through of like, hey, here's where we start from, basically like understanding your business to crafting all this stuff. And then also explain why it's important to have it all tied together versus you just go like, let's say somebody's hearing what you're saying. They're like, that's great, Pat, but I just want to hire a videographer and then I want to post my own stuff. Or I just want to post my own, like whatever the situation might be. I'm going to hire somebody to post and then we're going to do our own video. So I know it was kind of a double-edged question, but go through that.
So, I mean, a perfect example is we just started with a concrete services company. So that whole process starts with a simple conversation, either in person or Zoom. I prefer in person. I'm kind of old school. Obviously, the Zooms are more convenient, but it's just a matter of listening and hearing where they're at and where they want to go. So this company they have 1 full-time crew. They want to get to 2 full-time crews before winter hits. And so that was a big part of the strategy was, okay, so we're going to use recruitment as a big push for this original content, the first, quarter or so of content. So after hearing that and then hearing, and that's another thing, like, we don't come in to ask people to take up the rug and ask us and have them tell us all their financials. But you do have to have that question of like, what are your sales? Where do you want to go? Because that helps us too. And so from that point, it's just a matter of, okay, we've kind of had this 1 hour conversation. We understand the vision. We understand what you guys do best, what your highest profit services are, who your ideal client is. And then from there, it's just, let's schedule a time. So we did that. We went on location. They were doing a driveway, a very simple project. But for that first video shoot, it's perfect because to the audience, this is all brand new when they see it, right?
Yeah.
And so we're getting the best of the owner, Kevin, showing his expertise simply just by being on the job, right? And that's the other thing. These business owners that sometimes they're like, well, do I need to do this? And it's like, no, you just need to do your job and we'll just document you and film you and we'll ask you questions. And we know how to get the right answers. That I come from like a general customer background as far as like, I'm just the idiot. I ask very open-ended questions to start because it kind of gets them talking. And then they realize, oh, I should say this. And so that was a long-winded answer, I think, to your question. But it starts with just a simple conversation, strategy session. And then going on and doing that first shoot. And then we're constantly learning too, because it's the first time working with the guys. We could have a rehearsal shoot where we just learn everybody's, but that's just go ahead and start. And it goes back to, this doesn't have to be perfect. It just needs to get done. Right. That doesn't mean you sacrifice professionalism or quality, because high quality converts better, obviously. So it's all about just taking where they're at, where do you want to go, and then we use your day-to-day process, essentially, in this case, on the job, doing a driveway, doing a patio, and from that, we're going to get batch content, right? So we can get a quarter's worth of content from one day of filming, and that's the convenience aspect, too. Because a lot of these businesses in St. Louis, they're successful businesses, but they might only have 3 or 4 people in the office, right? They got everybody else in home services. They're out in the field doing their job. So they don't have to think about it. And that's also the convenience aspect of it, because again, it goes back to our original conversation of, if you hired your own team, you're managing all these people. In our case, most of our clients, we meet with all of them, obviously, on a consistent basis. Communication is key, as you well know. But if we don't hear from them, they're fine with that. And if they don't hear from us, they're fine with that, because everything's going great. And they're getting that constant feedback. It creates that communication loop with your customers online when they get engaged with these videos and that type of thing.
So how do you handle the question of when somebody says, hey, I understand I need this. This sounds great. It looks awesome. My favorite question that I always get asked, well, how quick will I get results? Or what's the return on investment that can be guaranteed? How do you position that, handle that, kind of shift that conversation?
So if that comes up, I think the first thing is we just rely on our track record and our case studies. And so what the case studies show with our clients is, if you're consistent with this, you're going to end up generating a return on investment, because showcasing your brand in a professional, high quality manner is going to give you that coverage to where people that are tuned in, or even if they're not tuned in, but they're going to find out about it from your friend, right? So there's not like this, we don't have like, I don't promise the world to clients. What we do promise is you're going to transform your brand online, because you're going from whatever you had at the moment, which in a lot of cases is blank canvas, which is nice because then there's nothing to fix. And then we just go from there. So this most recent client that we signed, they were all bought into everything and understood our language right away. And so that conversation didn't come up, because they understand that over the course of time, they're going to grow their business through the video, through the word of mouth referrals. This is like word of mouth on steroids on social media. which is also a fun conversation because those old school business owners that say that, it's like, well, that's perfect. That's what this is. It's word of mouth.
Yeah.
We're amplifying that. So it really actually doesn't come up that much because I think at this point, the clients that meet with us understand that they've already kind of been pushed to want to do this and know they need to.
Yeah.
It's more about being a category leader. You know, that's a phrase that I really have started using too. I really like it because what is the value and what is the cost? What's the investment for you to look your absolute best and be the category leader in your industry, in your local market? That's, I would argue that we could put a higher price tag on that on our end, depending on what the package is. So do you want to be a category leader? If you do, you're going to end up seeing it as an investment and not a cost.
Well, it's really that opportunity cost conversation is, hey, you're not doing this. Well, your competitors may not be doing it right now, but the minute they do, you're already behind.
100%. That's exactly right. It's not only going back to our conversation earlier about early days of social media, if you were just flinging stuff against the wall, it worked. But now you need a little bit more nuance. You need to tell stories. Stories sell.
Yeah.
And that's another thing too. That'll never go out of style. People's brains are hardwired for stories.
Yeah.
Have you ever read Donald Miller's books?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think he's like a simple genius. The way he just dumbs everything down so that anybody can understand it. I think he's one of the most impactful marketing gurus, if that's a phrase.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of them that are maybe fake, but that's a guy that when I read his book originally, this Building a Story Brand, I was like, this guy is just like, this makes so much sense. And then after you read the book, how many different clients or companies do you see, you know, across town where their marketing and their marketing pieces don't even speak to the customer? It's all about them. Like we're the best and no one really cares if you're the best. They want to know what's in it for them, right? At the end of the day, it's customer, customer, customer. So in our case, that means serving our clients, and then that means serving their customers through our work. So there's kind of like two masters we're serving.
Yeah, one of the things I think, like you mentioned, was like the simplicity plus the consistency plus the quality. I think that's like the secret formula that is not necessarily what everybody loves to hear right now. They're looking for like the magic pill, or how can
there is no
ahead?
Magic pill. The magic pill is put the work in. And that's funny that you brought those words up too, because those are all throughout our sales deck, and I think they show up in that ebook too. And consistency, that doesn't sound like anything new or but consistency, high quality, and that builds trust, whether it's video or just consistent content, right? So yeah, again, it's like all the disruptors out there with technology and artificial intelligence, and it's like at the end of the day, we're talking about authenticity, consistency, high quality, things that are never going to go out of style.
Well, and I also think in the local aspect, working with obviously a lot of local St. Louis businesses, is there is this urge and need right now for people to want to support local and want to do those different things. So if you're not showing up online and you're not doing it in a way of people can see that, oh my gosh, they just did a house X, Y, and Z down the road, or they're involved in this and they're involved in that, you're missing out on this layer that has been taken away for so long, whether it was the pandemic or franchises or corporate backed companies or all these different things coming into markets and then basically like taking away that local small business feel.
Right. And so even when you can accomplish that and be consistent, even if you're not selling directly to somebody, to X is going to keep you top of mind so that when they need it, they're going to think about it. Or they have friends, family, whatever that needs it. Hey, check this out. I follow them online. And like, that's a real thing.
Yeah.
You know, so that's again, be a category leader, be consistent, and the sales will follow. It's kind of ironic too. It's like we sell through story. And so like we're sales focused, but never do we actually have like hardcore sales ads. Like the ads and promotions is still a part of it. But at the end of the day, you have to make sure that when you do run an ad, let's say as an example, a video ad, it needs to stay with the tone and the narrative of your brand's voice. So I think sometimes people forget that. It's like, just because this is an ad doesn't mean that it has to look like a TV commercial on social media.
Yeah, absolutely. So how have you grown, kind of shifting focus a little bit, how have you grown your brand to be able to get these clients and do these different things? How did that start? And then how has that transformed as well?
Yeah. So, I mean, originally the first year, it was just banking on previous relationships, right? And whatever reputation I had created, through radio, locally. And then from there, it was honestly, I didn't really start marketing the brand's services until a few years into it, which is ironic, right? It's like the marketing guy that's not marketing himself. But it started with just referrals, and our system worked for everybody. So it was like what we were just saying on a consumer basis, only this was B2B basis, where they're like, yeah, you should call Pat, right? And I think that's because we don't just show up and create content. We have a strategy. I mean, I'm a creative guy. I've got a good natural instinctive feel for the temperature of the room and how to communicate with people. And that's where I think you can get in trouble with ChatGPT if you don't have a human overseeing. I think you've even posted that before. It's obvious. We all know when you're using ChatGPT by itself and only by itself and not editing it, right? So, that's how it started, and then it just kind of grew, and then like now we've got the ebook. We're using that obviously as a lead magnet. So it started with word of mouth and referral, and then we started doing more creative marketing and ads, probably 2019-ish. And then actually right before the pandemic hit, we were like looking at being exclusively for restaurants, which that put a little damper in that. But that we had an idea of taking our system and going national with it. When the pandemic hit, we switched focus, obviously, and pretty much ever since then, it's been a mix of just, video ads and keeping up with just doing a good job for our clients. I think Hormozy is really good about talking. If you just focus on doing a really good job for 10 years, he's like, eventually your customers are going to sell for you. Yeah. And so that has kind of happened. I'm grateful for that, our clients, we're like almost friends with all of our clients too. I don't know if that's the case for other local businesses, but I mean, every client I have, we get along great, and I've gotten choosier too with, who you work with, because you see the red flags now with certain clients. It's always the smaller ones that are the hardest to deal with, and so to answer your question, it was all word of mouth referrals from satisfied clients, and then we started doing some digital ads from that point on. So awesome. Off to the races.
That's awesome. How do you manage like multiple platforms? Right. So I get that question all the time, is like, well, should I post the same content everywhere for my business brand? Does it need to be like, how do you navigate that?
As far as the actual distribution of it, there's plenty of great apps out there. We use Sprout Social quite a bit. As far as tailoring the content for the platform, we definitely do that with the captions. If there's certain videos that I think aren't fit for like LinkedIn, we have a few clients where we'll actually post for their LinkedIn content, because that's kind of their bread and butter platform. They're food service manufacturer representatives. So they work with the operators, and then they also work with the manufacturers. And so LinkedIn is perfect for them, right? So our videos for that is going to look different than a video on TikTok or a video on Facebook even. So it's just a matter of, I think, the strategy ahead of time. And when I started, the idea of strategy was like, what do you need a strategy for? But you know what I mean? But it's like, we'll just create it. And it's like, that works for a little bit. But if you have a strategy, and again, we're using the basics here. We're talking about consistency and strategy now. But if you have a strategy going in, then that will make it easier to tailor the content for the platform. So it's something that you just have to be mindful of ahead of time. What works great on LinkedIn probably won't work on TikTok. That doesn't mean you can't still use the same footage. You just got to repackage and repurpose it. Talk with your editors and get them to understand, the game and what's at stake and where it's going.
Mm-hmm. What could some people do right now if they're like, hey, this sounds awesome, but I just don't have the budget right now? What are some things that people can do right now to set them up for success for when they would hire your company?
I think a simple audit of your own brand as far as, where are you and where do you want to go? Do you want to be the category leader? And if they're ready to do that, and they see it as an investment and not a cost, then they're pretty much ready to meet with us, I think. So, because we have different tiered packages. So, not every client's going to need the same stuff.
Yeah.
And we have standalone packages, but typically what we'll do is it's kind of like we have that to look at. And then it's like, okay, we're going to put you in the growth engine, but we're also going to add, photos because you guys don't actually have anybody in-house that's doing social.
Yeah.
Which I'm glad I just brought that up because a lot of the companies we work with, they do have in-house people. We're working with them and training them. Like we've got an automotive client where we've trained their marketing manager on, what equipment to use, how to film it, and then they can just ship it over to us. We put it together. We distribute it. So yeah, I think that's really it because we do kind of customize and tailor. We have, like I said, we have our I don't want to call it a boilerplate because we customize it, but we have our different tiers. And again, if you see it as an investment, you're investing in your own self, your own brand, then you're gonna find the money for it. We're not breaking the bank and locking people into, these long-term contracts where they don't get anything and then we threaten them with legal action. That's not really a healthy
business model.
That's not a healthy business model, nor is it a healthy karma model. You know what I mean? Because to me, marketing should be fun.
Yeah.
There's enough crap in the world, that everybody's stressed, everybody's got too much to do. So it's like I want marketing to be fun, and that's kind of why I intentionally kept my business kind of small in the early going because I didn't want to have big company problems before I really fine-tuned our method, right? And again, it's not that it's rocket science, but there is a methodology to it. I don't know if I sent that to you, but I'll shoot over the sales deck too, just because we've got our content method on there. It's got 5 layers. Great for any business out there can have access to that through our website. But it's good to have too as a standalone thing because if you're sitting around, you're like, well, what content can we create? You just look at the funnel and it's like, and when I say funnel, it just physically looks like a funnel. I'm not talking about a marketing funnel. It's the content funnel.
Yeah. But
you can just look at it and it's like, this is the content that you as a brand need to succeed online. And it's all the words we already used: authenticity, behind the scenes, company culture videos. Probably surprises a lot of companies when we say that. It's like, well, we're not that interesting. It's like, you think you're not interesting, but there's somebody out there that you're interesting to. It could be a future recruit that you hire. And that could just be from an ongoing, company culture video that pops up once every 2 weeks as part of the mix. So behind the scenes stuff is gold. Testimonials obviously are gold. So video doesn't lie. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
So when you can showcase all that stuff, you're going to be putting your brand in the right spot, and you're not going to be behind. You might be in line with, or you're going to be ahead of your competitors.
Yeah. I know you mentioned working with an in-house team. Our clients on the SEO side, website side, Google ad side, those are some of our best clients because there's somebody that's kind of their job. But as you mentioned before, is a lot of people that we work with, whether it's a marketing manager or marketing admin, or they're wearing multiple hats inside the business, they don't know everything. They can quarterback though and work with the owner or the sales 100%. Team or whoever. So walk me through and walk the audience through how to have that person, but not expect that person to go do everything that you guys do, and how it can be a cohesive environment of working together.
Yeah. So in our case, it's just a matter of training, right? And it's all simple stuff. We shoot a lot of our content with iPhones, actually. So we'll just tell we'll tell them the equipment they need. So there's a vlog phone rig by Newer. Mm-hmm. Are you familiar with that brand? Yeah. Neewer.
Yeah.
They're not a sponsor, but they could be. Right?
Yeah, they could be.
But no, they've got these phone rigs. You can buy them on Amazon for like $60. Mm-hmm. So like I would advise any in-house marketing person, like if you're watching this right now and you're like, how do I do this? I don't know how to do it. So at that point, you just need to develop confidence from doing your reps.
Sure.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So I would get one of those rigs. They're like $60, $70 on Amazon. Those things stabilize an iPhone so amazing that the footage looks like it's a high-end camera. Mm-hmm. It's pretty crazy because it's nothing fancy. You're just holding it with your hands. So I'd get that, buy some mics. You can get Rode wireless mics if you want. And from there, start filming, whatever it is. And then really I think at that point, the post-production and the editing is where that's going to a differentiator also for us, because even if you do have that in-house person that's doing all this work, if she's going to try to edit or he's going to try to edit it, that's just going to be taking up a lot more time.
100%.
And if you have just one editor, you're probably going to need more than one. And so that's where, again, going back to the whole, our pitch is we're a full service social marketing department for you without that expensive price tag.
That's awesome. What are you most excited about for the future of your company and stuff that you guys are working on with your clients?
I really enjoy working with our home services clients and automotive, because in both cases, it's very story driven, which might sound surprising, but that's where we're really trying to resell the experience. And so, roofing companies are great. The concrete and the pavers are great. The design and build is great. So really looking into kind of expanding and growing those divisions, if you will.
Yeah.
We still have our restaurants, but even when the restaurants are doing great, then that's a really thin margin. Tough industry. So we're really choosy about who we work with in that field. Shout out Trenton Garvey. He won Hell's Kitchen. He's over at the Blue Duck. We're going to be filming him actually later today.
That's awesome.
But automotive and home services is because that's where you can build the trust with your potential customers. And so we talk about, like, it sounds almost like a Hallmark movie, like it sounds too good to be true, but like you can take with the system that we have, your existing customers will actually kind of become like loyal fans, and like brand loyalty has always been a big thing of like with our taglines and stuff. I think that was my original one, was save you money and time and help grow brand loyalty, which sounds, hokey, but it's true. It's like if you have people that going back to Hormozy, if you have people that are selling for you, you can't be stopped.
Yeah.
And that just comes from you doing a great job at your craft, whether it's the concrete, whether it's the roofing, which is why more than ever, the scammers aren't going to last. The guys who do bad business aren't going to last.
Yeah.
And that's why they're not online probably.
Love it. Well, Pat, this was a great episode, man. I'm glad we had the chance to do it. Where can people stay connected with you and reach out to you to learn more about your services?
Yeah, so imig.ai is the website. There's a lot of our processes on there. Case studies are there. Kind of gives you a feel for, we are story driven. At the end of the day, we're storytellers. So you could check that out. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, obviously, at Pat Imig, so that's PATIMIG. LinkedIn, TikTok as well. So any of those platforms, I'm on at least once a day. Got to get the content out. I actually still manually post my content too, for the most part. There's times where I won't, but so check us out. And if you're a local business, and you want to take that next step and be the category leader in your industry and have a fan base, essentially, that's the other thing. You don't need millions of followers, and people get hung up on that too. A lot of my successful clients have like 600 followers on Instagram and 500 on Facebook, and it's like, well, how does that work? How come they don't have more? Aren't they paying for that? It's like, no, they're paying to grow their business at the end of the day.
Quality over quantity.
100%.
Yeah, love it. Well, as you listen to this episode today, obviously Pat and his company have a lot of incredible resources on the social media management, marketing side, a lot of different services for them to be able to help you out with multiple different packages. If you're interested, if you have any of those needs, he's the guy to go talk to. We'll have all of his information as well as the company information in the show notes. If you were watching this video on YouTube, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video, leave a comment with something that you learned. And on the podcasting platform that you're listening on, leave us a 5-star review. Thank you so much for watching or listening to today's episode. We'll see you next week. And remember, authority isn't built overnight, it's built over time.
Thanks so much for tuning into this episode. We sure do appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, make sure you're subscribed to the show wherever you consume podcasts. This way you'll get notifications as new episodes become available. If you feel so inclined, please leave us a review. We sure do appreciate it. Until next time, friends.